Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. The composition presents problems for students of musical form. The phonological or orthographic sound or appearance of a word that can be used to describe or identify something. The inflected forms of a word can be represented by a stem in a list of inflections to be attached. Make something, usually for a specific function. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. Establish or impress firmly in the mind. A body of students who are taught together. Create, as an entity. Social groups form everywhere. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A category of things distinguished by some common characteristic or quality. Sculpture is a form of art. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. Develop into a distinctive entity. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. To compose or represent. This wall forms the background of the stage setting. Give shape or form to. Form the young child's character. Physical chemistry. A distinct state of matter in a system. Matter that is identical in chemical composition and physical state and separated from other material by the phase boundary. A mold for setting concrete. They built elaborate forms for pouring the foundation. An ability to perform well. He was at the top of his form. An arrangement of the elements in a composition or discourse. The essay was in the form of a dialogue. A particular mode in which something is manifested. His resentment took the form of extreme hostility. A printed document with spaces in which to write. He filled out his tax form. Assume a form or shape. The water formed little beads. The act of throwing a fishing line out over the water by means of a rod and reel. The visual appearance of something or someone. The delicate cast of his features. Formulate in a particular style or language. She cast her request in very polite language. The actors in a play. A violent throw. Container into which liquid is poured to create a given shape when it hardens. The act of throwing dice. Form by pouring, e.g., wax or hot metal, into a cast or mold. Cast a bronze sculpture. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. Put or send forth. Cast a spell. Get rid of. Object formed by a mold. Bandage consisting of a firm covering, often made of plaster of Paris, that immobilizes broken bones while they heal. Throw forcefully. The distinctive form in which a thing is made. Pottery of this cast was found throughout the region. Eject the contents of the stomach through the mouth. Choose at random. Cast lots. Assign the roles of a movie or a play to actors. Who cast this beautiful movie? Deposit. Cast a vote. Select to play, sing, or dance a part in a play, movie, musical, opera, or ballet. He cast a young woman in the role of Desdemona. The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. Make something, usually for a specific function. Shape a figure. A concrete representation of an otherwise nebulous concept. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. He could barely make out their shapes. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. Shape or influence. Give direction to. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. Geometry is the mathematical science of shape. The supreme headquarters that advises NATO on military matters and oversees all aspects of the Allied Command Europe. Give shape or form to. Shape the dough. A customary way of operation or behavior. They changed their dietary pattern. A perceptual structure. A visual pattern must include not only objects but the spaces between them. Something intended as a guide for making something else. A pattern for a skirt. A decorative or artistic work. The path that is prescribed for an airplane that is preparing to land at an airport. The traffic patterns around O'Hare are very crowded. Something regarded as a normative example. Graphical representation, in polar or Cartesian coordinates, of the spatial distribution of radiation from an antenna as a function of angle. Plan or create according to a model or models. A model considered worthy of imitation. The American Constitution has provided a pattern for many republics. Form a pattern. These sentences pattern like the ones we studied before. The phonological or orthographic sound or appearance of a word that can be used to describe or identify something. A piece of stored information that is used to identify an item in an information storage and retrieval system. The phonological or orthographic sound or appearance of a word that can be used to describe or identify something. The phonological or orthographic sound or appearance of a word that can be used to describe or identify something. Make something, usually for a specific function. Come up with an idea, plan, explanation, theory, or principle, after a mental effort. Make a copy of with the intent to deceive. She forged a green card. A workplace where metal is worked by heating and hammering. Make out of components, often in an improvising manner. Move or act with a sudden increase in speed or energy. Create by hammering. Forge a pair of tongues. Furnace consisting of a special hearth where metal is heated before shaping. Move ahead steadily. He forged ahead. A distinctive nature, character, or type. A leader in the mold of her predecessors. A dish or dessert that is formed in or on a mold. A lobster mold. A fungus that produces a superficial growth on various kinds of damp or decaying organic matter. Make something, usually for a specific function. She molded the rice balls carefully. Container into which liquid is poured to create a given shape when it hardens. Sculpture produced by molding. The process of becoming mildewed. Form by pouring, e.g., wax or hot metal, into a cast or mold. Form in clay, wax, etc. Shape or influence. Give direction to. Mold public opinion. The distinctive form in which a thing is made. Become moldy. Spoil due to humidity. The furniture molded in the old house. Loose soil rich in organic matter. Fit tightly, follow the contours of. The dress molds her beautiful figure. A distinctive nature, character, or type. A dish or dessert that is formed in or on a mold. A fungus that produces a superficial growth on various kinds of damp or decaying organic matter. Make something, usually for a specific function. Container into which liquid is poured to create a given shape when it hardens. Sculpture produced by molding. The process of becoming mildewed. Form by pouring, e.g., wax or hot metal, into a cast or mold. Form in clay, wax, etc. The distinctive form in which a thing is made. Loose soil rich in organic matter. Make uniform. Work the clay until it is soft. Perform as expected when applied. This old radio doesn't work anymore. Be employed. Is your husband working again? Applying the mind to learning and understanding a subject, especially by reading. Mastering a second language requires a lot of work. Have and exert influence or effect. The artist's work influenced the young painter. Make something, usually for a specific function. Cause to happen or to occur as a consequence. I cannot work a miracle. The occupation for which you are paid. A lot of people are out of work. Cause to work. He is working his servants hard. Find the solution to a problem or question, or understand the meaning of. This unpleasant situation isn't going to work itself out. A product produced or accomplished through the effort or activity or agency of a person or thing. It is not regarded as one of his more memorable works. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. The voting process doesn't work as well as people thought. Use or manipulate to one's advantage. She knows how to work the system. Proceed along a path. Work one's way through the crowd. Prepare for crops. Shape, form, or improve a material. Work stone into tools. A place where work is done. He arrived at work early today. Cause to undergo fermentation. The vintner worked the wine in big oak vats. The total output of a writer or artist, or a substantial part of it. Picasso's work can be divided into periods. Give a workout to. My personal trainer works me hard. Go sour or spoil. The wine worked. Activity directed toward making or doing something. She checked several points needing further work. Arrive at a certain condition through repeated motion. The stitches of the hem worked loose after she wore the skirt many times. Behave in a certain way when handled. This dough does not work easily. Cause to operate or function. This pilot works the controls. Exert oneself by doing mental or physical work for a purpose or out of necessity. I will work hard to improve my grades. Gratify and charm, usually in order to influence. The political candidate worked the crowds. Move in an agitated manner. His fingers worked with tension. Move into or onto. Work the raisins into the dough. Operate in a certain place, area, or specialty. She works the nightclubs. Operate in or through. Physics. A manifestation of energy. The transfer of energy from one physical system to another expressed as the product of a force and the distance through which it moves a body in the direction of that force. Work equals force times distance. Proceed towards a goal or along a path or through an activity. Work your way through every problem or task. Provoke or excite. The rock musician worked the crowd of young girls into a frenzy. An arrangement of parts or elements. The outcome depends on the configuration of influences at the time. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. Acting according to certain accepted standards. A symmetrical arrangement of the parts of a thing. A line drawn on a map connecting points of equal height. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. A feature, or the order or arrangement of features, of anything having a complex structure. The contours of the melody. Form the contours of. Mark or stamp with or as if with pressure. Establish or impress firmly in the mind. We imprint our ideas onto our children. An impression produced by pressure or printing. A concavity in a surface produced by pressing. A device produced by pressure on a surface. A distinctive influence. English stills bears the imprint of the Norman invasion. An identification of a publisher. A publisher's name along with the date and address and edition that is printed at the bottom of the title page. The book was published under a distinguished imprint. A body of students who graduate together. The class of 97. People having the same social, economic, or educational status. The working class. Arrange or order by classes or categories. How would you classify these pottery shards? Are they prehistoric? Education imparted in a series of lessons or meetings. Flirting is not unknown in college classes. A body of students who are taught together. Early morning classes are always sleepy. A collection of things sharing a common attribute. There are two classes of detergents. A league ranked by quality. He played baseball in Class D for 2 years. Biology. A taxonomic group containing one or more orders. Elegance in dress or behavior. She has a lot of class. General line of orientation. The river takes a southern course. Construction. A layer of masonry. A course of bricks. A connected series of events or actions or developments. The government took a firm course. As might be expected. A mode of action. If you persist in that course, you will surely fail. A body of students who are taught together. Education imparted in a series of lessons or meetings. He took a course in basket weaving. Move along, of liquids. A line or route along which something travels or moves. The course of the river. Facility consisting of a circumscribed area of land or water laid out for a sport. The course had only 9 holes. Hunt with hounds. He often courses hares. Move swiftly through or over. Part of a meal served at one time. She prepared a 3-course meal. Assign a rank or rating to. Assign a grade or rank to, according to one's evaluation. Grade tests. The height of the ground on which something stands. The base of the tower was below grade. A number or letter indicating quality, especially of a student's performance. Grade a milk. A degree of ablaut. A body of students who are taught together. 1/100th of a right angle. A relative position or degree of value in a graded group. Lumber of the highest grade. A position on a scale of intensity or amount or quality. A moderate grade of intelligence. A variety of cattle produced by crossbreeding with a superior breed. Determine the grade of or assign a grade to. Level to the right gradient. The gradient of a slope or road or other surface. The road had a steep grade. Plan and direct, a complex undertaking. Form or join a union. Create, as an entity. Cause to be structured or ordered or operating according to some principle or idea. Bring order and organization to. Arrange by systematic planning and united effort. Plan and direct, a complex undertaking. Form or join a union. Create, as an entity. Cause to be structured or ordered or operating according to some principle or idea. Bring order and organization to. Can you help me organize my files? Arrange by systematic planning and united effort. Organize a strike. An intense or violent exertion. Difficulty that causes worry or emotional tension. She endured the stresses and strains of life. Cause to be tense and uneasy or nervous or anxious. Test the limits of. Become stretched or tense or taut. The rope strained when the weight was attached. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. The act of singing. Remove by passing through a filter. Separate by passing through a sieve or other straining device to separate out coarser elements. Use to the utmost. Exert vigorously or to full capacity. Don't strain your mind too much. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A new strain of microorganisms. A special variety of domesticated animals within a species. He created a new strain of sheep. The general meaning or substance of an utterance. To exert much effort or energy. Straining our ears to hear. An effortful attempt to attain a goal. Rub through a strainer or process in an electric blender. Alter the shape of something by stress. Psychology, nervousness resulting from mental stress. His responsibilities were a constant strain. Injury to a muscle, often caused by overuse, results in swelling and pain. Physics, deformation of a physical body under the action of applied forces. Biology, a group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. An event that departs from expectations. Biology, a group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A variable quantity that is random. Something a little different from others of the same type. A variant of the same word. Differing from a norm or standard. A variant spelling. Exhibiting variation and change. Letters variant in size. Agreeable, conducive to comfort. A dry climate kind to asthmatics. Tolerant and forgiving under provocation. Our neighbor was very kind about the window our son broke. A category of things distinguished by some common characteristic or quality. What kinds of desserts are there? Having or showing a tender and considerate and helpful nature, used especially of persons and their behavior. Kind to sick patients. An operation that segregates items into groups according to a specified criterion. The bottleneck in mail delivery is the process of sorting. Arrange or order by classes or categories. Examine in order to test suitability. A category of things distinguished by some common characteristic or quality. An approximate definition or example. She wore a sort of magenta dress. A person of a particular character or nature. What sort of person is he? A collection containing a variety of sorts of things. He had a variety of disorders. A show consisting of a series of short unrelated performances. A category of things distinguished by some common characteristic or quality. Noticeable heterogeneity. The range and variety of his work is amazing. A difference that is usually pleasant. He goes to France for variety. Biology. A taxonomic category consisting of members of a species that differ from others of the same species in minor but heritable characteristics. A woman who wears clothes to display fashions. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. Any of numerous small bright-colored birds of Central America and South America having short bills and elaborate courtship behavior. A woman who wears clothes to display fashions. A person who is very small but who is not otherwise deformed or abnormal. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. A woman who wears clothes to display fashions. She was too fat to be a mannequin. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. A woman who wears clothes to display fashions. A person who is very small but who is not otherwise deformed or abnormal. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. The elasticity of something that can be stretched and returns to its original length. A light, self-propelled movement upwards or forwards. Spring back. Spring away from an impact. A natural flow of groundwater. Develop into a distinctive entity. Move forward by leaps and bounds. The season of growth. The emerging buds were a sure sign of spring. A metal elastic device that returns to its shape or position when pushed or pulled or pressed. The spring was broken. A point at which water issues forth. Develop suddenly. Produce or disclose suddenly or unexpectedly.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.